Good Shabbos, everyone. This week's parsha Likutei Torah is Mi Mane Alpha Ya'ankum Misbar is Rova Yisrael. He who counts the Yidden, the dust of like Yidden of the Ya'akov, is counting Misper. Is counting Rova Yisrael, the fourth of Israel. And simply put, just to make this Shiur short for time, we won't be completing this entire mimer, but we're just going to go into the first part. And ironically, this mimer is also divided into 4 parts, and we're dealing with the what is 4 in our section here. What is 4? What we're dealing? How's it related to Ma'aseh B'Peil for me in my Avodas Hashem when it comes to this pasuk, which talks about Bilam is asking, how can you count the Yidden's mitzvahs? The Yidden's mitzvahs are like dust, you can't count it. And specifically that also that the Yidden are into 4 camps. That's according to Rashi's parish over there. Reva yesh bei, the word Reva has a quarter, has 2 perushim. Either the explanation is it means echad chelik revi'is, a quarter, a fourth of something, or it means, and secondly, it means Milashon Arba, means 4. So it's a whole, something completely 4. So it's either a fourth, quarter, or it's a complete number of 4. The Yidden have 4 parts. There's 4 starts to them, and the idea is in my honor I created them. And their start is thought, speech, and action. So that's what they created, the start of thought. So from something to nothing, I've created a deeper, and that is speech. Speech is something very unique to mankind, and specifically the man. So the thought process of when we think something, what it expressed in our words. And because when we create something, that in that language, the action that I've created, I want something, I've suddenly created something separate to the speech itself. So now when you make something, it's not like speech. I would like to build a house. So if you say building a house, it's obviously I haven't created the house. I have to go and actually create it. I have to go build it. But when I conceptualize and think about it, like an architect, he has to dream about he has to contemplate what the house would look like, and the owner of the house wants to also, I want to build a palace, I want to build something for myself. He has to meditate I understand that this is what he wants to do, or what type of house he would need, so that he draws it in his mind, and through also the letters. And when we speak, we have letters that come into, even though we might not realize it at the time of speaking, but that is all combined with the Hebrew letters as well. Just like you speak, just like you think, you speak as well. Nevertheless, when you make something physically, it's an idea on its own. And you can look about this. There's other mamarim that explain it. But there's also another start. The 4th start that is higher than all those 3 of thought, speech, and action. That thought and speech and action are hidden, are hinted to in the word. But nevertheless, the language is more so. It's more so than what is not explicitly expressed. It's something that's higher than all those thoughts, speech, and action. Because you're limited, even though nevertheless we are human beings, we're limited within a human capacity within what we can conceptualize. You ever heard of a concept of thinking big? You got to think bigger. So the person's only limited of what their aspirations are. So when you aspire, I want to complete something very large, I have a goal in mind, I'd be able to accomplish it if I have think big. So now, nobody, even though we are human, and since we are human, we are limited in our thinking big approach, because we can only think within our limited realms. Now, obviously, the Eibishter is much larger than that. He's much higher than that. A bir davar. Now we have to explain this. We have to understand the purpose of the neshama coming into this world, into this physical world, and it came down because when it comes down, what is that purpose? Is to go even higher up above. Who can know that? As known, we have to understand this rising that's higher, this elevation that the neshama has. It's only after it comes down into this world specifically, and when it enjoys the light of the Shekhinah, and then it will be able to, when it goes up, it goes even a higher, closer light, goes higher and closer to the light of the Shekhinah itself. And this is, you can understand, person can admit, this idea in thought, in speech, and action, that is above, because it's been being created, and he is the one who has created you. He's designed this whole process. Not my thoughts are not your thoughts. Because he doesn't obviously have a physical body. There's no physical, that we can't compare ourselves with our physical body, because Hashem doesn't have that. Any time we talk about hands, feet, or anything like that of the Eibishter, it's all just to analogize. It's an analogy so we can conceptualize it, but not that he himself has anything like that. When you're going out of the worlds, from the hidden to the revealed, it's called in the name of Davar Hashem. Anything is revealed is only Hashem said it. Kamo al derech mashal, like a person who speaks, who can megala lezula say b'tzvei machshava. So when I want to reveal something to you, I have to reveal when I'm speaking, I'm revealing what's in my thought. So that's why it's very important to speak clean and speak in a beautiful way. So when you're speaking in that, showing you the way that you speak is what is going on in your head. Just like the first 10 utterances that created the world, and that came from the first speeches. This is revealing what Hashem wanted. So this, what came out with those 10 utterances, is also the letters and the shape of the letters, from the hidden to the revealed. It came from nothing to something. And in one speech, one act of saying one thing, Hashem could have created the whole world. So why? V'ruach piv kol tzva'am. He could have created everything. Everything was created. So what is the explanation? Is ruach piv, that in fancy English they would call it fiat, meaning just a breath of coming out. Hevel ha'elyon, from the hiddenness, from way above. You can look at that. Alter Rebbe says it's believed that someone study put a parentheses here that you can look it up in the Zohar. And this could have, even that one speech could have included all those 10 speech utterances. So Hashem didn't need to do it in 10 utterances, 10 different and all these things, all those announced that all those speeches that he said, everything could be done at once. By speaking, you've already divided everything up into different letters themselves. Now we have differences of different worlds, hundreds of thousands of different worlds. So it's each one has its own branch, its own area. And this is why when we say Baruch Hashem, the angels, Malach Gvurei Kayach Osid Dvur Lishmaya B'Koil Dvurav Dvur Daika, they're very, very specific in that they want to hear the Hashem's voice. Because why? It enlivens them and fulfills them. And you can see that they are enlivened by what Hashem's speech, and then that's how they act. And in many different letters, that the creations are created from and this comes from the different names of Hashem, and then from the names of each piece of creation, just like, for example, the encampment of Michal. Now Michal, you will, if you want to know the Malach, the famous malachim that we're allowed to say the names. A lot of different malachim out there, and we're not allowed to say the names, but we can say the name of malach. Michal, Raphael, Gabriel, we say these different names. That's allowed. And within their names, have, as mentioned in other shiurim, not only the angels' names, but Hashem's names have many different combinations. And so within those combinations, you can have, you break up different letters in their names and to form different parts and different things. For example, Michal, we see the name, how do we know water is chesed? Because Michal has the name water in it, Mem Yud. And Shem Kel is obviously is also in the name, but it's not Shem Havaya. Most angels, the angels are with Shem Kel inside their name, because it's lower than Shem Havaya. It's just a very simple, basic understanding of what we're talking about. So you can see that within all the other names as well, and your own name as well. If you have a name, you have a certain energy that comes down because of your name, and it brings down. You can learn from that energies what comes down with it. V'chein Shemois Kol and Ivraim, and all creation has its name. Leminasam, commercial, even to its minute, even to this most smallest, lowest creation. Because Adam Shemois, because Adam gave everything its name. V'hem b'chinas Shemois mamash, he gave them a real name. It means Shemois, that each one has to be related to somehow be in parallel to what its creator created it for, and so then it has to be a relation to the creator. So we have it, we're dealing with Shem Havaya or Shem Elokim in some way or another. Mamash tzirufei oisis, like for real. It's the different letters, how the letters are expounded. Moitze pei Hashem, that came out from Hashem, etc. V'chol go, and this is how we have all these revealed worlds. For example, we spoke about four before earlier. We have the four elements of creation. Fire, we're not, the Rebbe doesn't bring it yet, but but for example, the lowest level of creation is Evan. It's in a different Maimil. It explains Evan is Aleph Ban. Ban is one of the names of Hashem. Absag Ma Ban or Ben, depends on which type of, in Chabad Hasidus we say Ben. And in through the Kabbalist, the Sephardi Kabbalists, they say Ban, but either way it comes up to 52, and from there you can see that from that you have the lowest, and that's the lowest part of creation, which is stone, and its comparison is how the base of Mikdash had to be also from the lowest had to be it's made from stone and elevates to the highest levels. So how we came from the lowest to the highest, and this is what we're dealing with here with our neshamas, had to come down specifically to this low world in order to be elevated even to a higher level in Shemayim. V'yesh al mistimin ele izgalin, and there are also hidden worlds. The lo izgalin, they're not revealed yet. V'hem b'chins mikrim le'almin izgalin, they are waiting. They are the foundations of the revealed worlds. That whenever we have whatever we do here has an effect in the higher world as well. And everything has in the hidden world, in the revealed worlds, has to have some source in the hidden worlds. Like we say as the sages have said, there's no food, there's no produce down here She'ein lo mazel milamala. It doesn't have some muzzle from above. Everything grows down here has to have some form of muzzle that makes it flourish. This is how it is above and above, and on to higher and higher levels. Higher above not only the above worlds has to flourish, but the worlds above those worlds as well. And as it says, Gvoya me'al Gvoya, higher than high. Shomer Gvoyim aleihem. So you'll see that when they go higher and higher above them, and this is that the Yidden, where would we go into this highest part is in thought. Where is the highest part of your body? Is in your brain, and in your brain, what's the highest part of the brain? Is the place where we can have thought. And thought, where are our neshamas coming? Jewish neshamas is from the thought of Hashem. This is when creation started, when as soon as Hashem thought about creation, and not just the speech. So that's where we have machshava, dibur, ma'aseh, with thought, speech, and then action. Hidden worlds are like thinking. Who begins hahelem is hidden. I can't see it until we get to speech, and speech is revealing the source of Payurishma, what the thought wanted. We already mentioned this already. So that was the purpose of we were saying that the Yidden are Megale, or when Hashem created the world, it comes from sport. What's the purpose of creation? Is for Yidden to do something here. So now what happens if it's very, very hidden? Nowadays, you have a lot of people have to go to therapy. Let's talk it out. To bring something out, you have to get a professional to express what's really hidden in that. And that's why we say Verbringen. Is to schlep our things together, and then you say L'chaim, and then you have the L'chaim allows you to express something that's completely hidden in you, to reveal what it is, and hopefully it come out that in that Verbringen somebody will say a mimer, because that's what you really want to hear. I want to express godliness into this world even more. So now what is that? The power of the thought, to really get deep down into that thought. It's very, very high. With the power of speech. Because thought is just the outer garment of for the soul itself. So now we go even higher. We're dealing with the nefesh. Remember, there's how many parts of the 5 parts of the neshama, and we're dealing now here with the nefesh, which is the lowest part. Who begins yesh me'ain. The nefesh is the one that's connected to the body. Begins yesh me'ain is from something to nothing. So now why are we dealing with Adam Rishon? Adam Rishon gave everything a name. Shehem Bechinis. As you look into this another mimer, it'll explain what the hidden part of that is. Sham Shehem Bechinis Malachim Pnei Arya, just like we have that the angels. We're dealing with angels that have a face of a lion, Pnei Shor, and a face of a bull, and an eagle, etc. Each one, this is the Markava. And the names, Michal, Gabriel, Shem, Him. These are the expressions of the letters that are coming down from something, from nothing to something, and this is we're leading in the other direction now, and this is expressing what Hashem's intent is, the speech of Hashem. But here we have Adam Rishon did not find a helper that's next to him. What is the Ezer? Talking about Chava. So Ezer who begin Shem. Ezer, he didn't have a name. So when the neshama comes down before it was united into this, it comes into this world, it doesn't have a body itself yet. There's no name to it. Because it's still very, very hidden in the highest hidden worlds. And now, Avraham Yitzhak, now that they're called Avraham Yitzhak, it's only after the neshama's in a body. This is only, that's why Avram was only one. So the explanation that Avram was only one who should be a neshama legufo before the neshama it came into a body, hu b'chinas echad, hinu b'chinas hamachshava. So it's united with his thought. That unity with the nefesh is the start of the al ilmin stimin, the hidden worlds. That because they are united with the Ein Sof, the eternal light, the light that is not limited in any way, and that light, this is how we can have that mamish bechin shkedim baoli de gilu elmis lios ischalkus. Before you could have all the separation in these worlds, and Ivroim ba'alma defruda. Before you could have all the coming into this world, where you have the worlds of separation, and each one is in its own, and you cannot really see the unity in Hashem's. In how has Hashem united everything into one here. We are very specifically separated, and this is what also delays Mashiach to come. When we are separated even more, you should not be. When we are more united, Mashiach comes even faster, because that will show us how Hashem's intertwining into everything. Hashem is only one. Hashem echad, that Hashem is one in everything. And this is how the 60 different in Adam he included all the 60 different types of neshamas within his one body. And we can see that the source of the neshama is from higher than before there's any chalkos at all. Have a good Shabbos. This is the time is up, and we should continue in this mimer for the next 3 other parts, because now you can see it's just as introduction to this mimer, but hopefully we can understand that this neshama, how the unity in everything that we have, that even the Bilam, it was all switched, but yet anything it does, whether it's for positive or negative, it's done in a way to bring out all that hitchalkus. Like when you throw something up in the air and you have dust, it's completely spread around. But you have our hitchalkus is actually it's all Hashem, and that all Hashem. Some people you can have your thoughts can be all very scattered, like dust. But when we try to understand that our thoughts, our real thoughts, try to be like the Eibishter, which he has an intent and purpose for this world, and the intent and purpose of this world is to bring our neshamas even higher. That's why we were created, to go even higher. We have a higher purpose that allows us to get closer to Hashem in that way, and also to refine this entire world around us in our speech. And the speech is very, very important, because when we reveal in our speech the godliness of everything that Hashem created for us, it will allow us to recognize what is the purpose of every single thing and every single creation in this world. One of the ways the Rebbe encourages this, for example, is Sheva Mitzvot B'nei Noach, that even a non-Jew has a specific purpose. Here we were dealing with, let's say, Yiddish neshamas, that before the world was created, Hashem had his thought that was the purpose of the world. But we have to elevate everything in this world, like we mentioned, the stones, the animal, everything here has the purpose of elevation. And now we even have to bring godliness even into the Sheva Mitzvot B'nei Noach, to the non-Jew. The non-Jew also has to recognize that there's only one God. And he has a specific purpose, and to bring godliness and bring into this world as well.